everyone. I'm Julian Jaquez, and I'm here with Frank Sweeney from the Real World San Diego.
What's going on?
So, Frank, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from a really small town outside of Syracuse, New York, in upstate New York, and then I went to school at Middlebury College, and so I lived in Middlebury for 4 years after that, right before the show.
What made you want to be on the Real World?
I kind of did it on a whim. One of the auditions was at a pub in Burlington, Vermont, on St. Patrick's Day, so I was like going to it anyway, so I just kind of went for it. And as I moved along in the process, I kind of did some research, saw like what the Real World was all about, and wanted to do it, to start some sort of positive platform for a lot of LGBT youth out there that do watch the show.
Did you watch any other seasons of the Real World?
Not religiously. I'm realizing now that I have seen lots of bits and pieces of seasons because I'm recognizing people as I meet like cast alumni and stuff like that. But I did watch the entire season of Vegas because this Vegas #2 because I was like going through the auditioning process and I was like, let me see what I'm getting myself into over here. Were
you a little nervous to meet your other roommates?
No, not really. I mean, I've always lived with different people. I've always had like a house full of people. Usually like, you got to meet some people somewhere. So I wasn't very nervous. I was actually excited. I was excited to see who the crazy people they set me up with.
How long did it take you to get used to the cameras?
Honestly, it took like 2 days. You just kind of get used to it. Like, I mean, it is what it is. You know what you're signing up for, and as long as you just put it out of your head. And there's also so much going on with, like, people in the house and things like that. There's so much to get used to with your roommates that you just completely forget that the cameras are there. And they're not important anyway. It's about, it is real, and it's about you living your life.
What were your first impressions towards your other roommate?
I was excited because everyone was, like, pretty attractive, and that was awesome. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, we're, like, a pretty good-looking bunch. This will be fun. And then as, like, the days went on, I was like, okay, we're, like, there's some people who are not too smart. Okay. I don't know. It was, like, I actually felt almost reverse sheltered because I didn't even know people of our generation came from such conservative backgrounds or kind of closed-minded and set in their ways in their early 20s. I mean, for me, being 20-something, this is the time to, like, get out there and explore and challenge my views and challenge myself. And it didn't seem to be the way for my other roommates right off the bat. And I was just kind of taken aback by that. I was like, why did you even sign up for this if you don't want to learn anything?
When did you come out to your parents?
21 is when I, like, had first hooked up with a guy on my 21st birthday. And I think it was, like, 2 days later, I used to be very close to my parents. And so I just called my mom and told her what was going on. And it was that simple.
How many bandanas do you own?
How many bandanas?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I collect them, and now people give them to me, too. So I have quite the collection.
Do people recognize you in public?
It depends, yeah. I mean, yes, but you know what? If I don't rock a bandana, I usually can fly kind of low under the radar. I just moved out to L.A., though, so nobody really cares who you are out here because everybody's famous for some reason or another. So It's kind of great because I can just, like, be walking down the street, but then, somebody like Ryan Seacrest is walking next to me, so I can just be a nobody, and it's nice because who wants to, like, have to take a billion pictures every day? It's not really me.
Do you care what people say about you or think of you?
Yeah, of course. I think it'd be a lie to say that people, like, when people say, I don't care what people think about me, that's there's no way that's true. I think that everyone thinks about what other people's opinions, and that reflects on how you act even, but in an extreme, absolutely not. I mean, I am who I am, and I'm fairly apologetic for it, too. It's just, of course, I'm conscious of what other people think, and you try to mold yourself a little bit around that because you don't want to step on toes or be disrespectful.
So you and Sam decided that you two want to go to a gay bar. If I'm not mistaken, that was your first time going to one, correct?
Yeah, that was my first time. I mean, I'm from upstate New York and then Vermont. We don't really have.
You bring a guy home with you from the bar. Did you feel like your roommates overreacted about you bringing him home?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's super evident. What you don't get to really see on the show is before the explosion and all the bad stuff went down. It was 3 or 4 days of literally the silent treatment. The only one who was talking to me throughout that whole time was Alex, and still there's only so much she can say and do to make me feel okay with things. But no, it was 100% silent treatment, and it was. It was really off-putting because I was like, well, you liked me before this. You liked everything about me. We've had a lot of laughs together. What's the only thing that's changed? And so it was really frustrating, and I just didn't even know that, it's 2011. Being a homophobe is like saying that the earth is flat at this point.
So Nate doesn't sleep in your room for 3 days. At the time, what did you think the reason was?
The reason was absolutely because I brought a guy home, and, you know, I don't want to give away too much, but even still to this day, there's a lot of discomfort with Zach and Ashley and Nate about gay people, and it's really frustrating.
So 4 vases are broken the night that Nate decides to sleep in your room again. Do you remember anything from that night?
I actually don't, which is, you know, it's a little embarrassing, but to be honest, you know, the vases were broken and things like that, but it wasn't just Nate sleeping in my room that had set me off. It was the fact that Nate had the audacity to bring someone back to our room after that was apparently so taboo. But it's just very clear that the double standard existed, and it was just so frustrating that, you know, you won't talk to me, you won't stay in my room, but it's okay for you to bring some 40-year-old trick back and have sex in our room. It just didn't seem appropriate, and it seemed really unfair, and it really hurt my feelings more than anything.
Did you feel like you needed to apologize for it?
Absolutely. I mean, the way I acted was a tantrum. I behaved like a child. It was alcohol-fueled and really stupid, and that's not me at all. Usually I have conversations and talk things out, but that was just never an option. And so, yeah, absolutely. I absolutely apologize for my actions. I overreacted in a really extreme manner. But at the same time, I'm confident in saying even today that I was coming from a good place, and that it was only because I cared about my roommates. I cared about how they thought of me, and I just wanted everyone to get along and to understand that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the gay lifestyle.
At one point, you weren't sure if you wanted to stay or not. What or who convinced you to stay?
You know, it was pretty much on me. I think that I don't know what happened at the house, and they don't even show what happened at the house while I wasn't there. I think there was a lot of discussion, and the house was fairly divided as to who wanted me to stay and who wanted me to go. But ultimately, the decision was up to me, and to bow out of it would have been really weak of me. And I needed to go back to the house. I needed to make amends, and it was time for me to step up and make those conversations happen and make this homophobia disappear from the house.
Would you ever consider doing a challenge?
I would never write it off. Absolutely not. I mean, I'd love to compete. So in that sense, absolutely I would do it. Am I ready to hop right on the boat and get back into the craziness right now? Not necessarily. But, yeah, I would love to compete and to show you guys what I got athletically at least. Where
does your friendship with Alexandra stand now?
I mean, she's here at my house right now. She's one of my best friends in the world. She's a beautiful person inside and out, and I am so happy to be in the same city as her. It literally makes my day to be able to call her and ask her to come over. So I love her so much.
What should we expect to see from you this season?
Expect to see from me? I would hope that you get to see the exact opposite of what you've seen so far. I would hope that you get to see some positivity, some conversations that work towards positivity with the LGBT community, and that work towards, you know, equality and standing up for our rights and things like that, especially facing adversity with people who are closed-minded, are ultra-conservative. So I hope that happens. That was my entire goal in going into the show, was showing youth that it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be bi, it's okay to be a lesbian, it's okay to make mistakes. You know, it is okay to throw a vase and break it on the ground and have a tantrum, but you need to man up afterwards, face the consequences, and carry on with your life. And I'm actually happy that everything happened in the way that it did, because I've learned from my mistakes, and I hope that other people can too.
All right, Frank, so that is all I have for you. Thanks for doing this podcast with me, and I'm definitely excited to talk to you more and do another podcast coming up.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it too, man.
All right, Frank, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Since you left me in tears, but still I never loved so true. I'm fed up with this city, man, and I miss the way we laid in the sand. Tired of these gentlemen, and I like the way you are. Some people call